All right, Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. But now you seeing this, this so-called drone thing take over the media, and it's for a reason because what they want to do is control the narrative. Like they always, the Edomites got to control the narrative, and what they are doing is causing confusion. So what they're doing in a roundabout way is saying they're lumping in these new drone videos in with the so-called UFO videos, the chariots, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to say, oh, there ain't nothing to see here, these drones, but they causing more questions to be asked because some of these people not buying this narrative. They just trying to throw a fake 52 on you people. Now they got the drone videos and they gonna say they don't know what they is and who's doing it. That's all. That's nothing but a lie. They can look down and zoom in from the heavens and zoom in on a dime and let you know if it's on heads or tails from a satellite. So you mean to tell me they don't know what these drones are? And what they trying to do is control the narrative by saying that what you've been seeing is drones, and these are drone videos that we seeing now. But other videos are chariots. You know what I'm saying? So they'll try to confuse it all in, like just bring that confusion in so they can control the narrative, so they can just get you so what's the word I'm looking for? Um Disoriented. You know what I'm saying? When somebody is disoriented, disoriented, they don't know what's going on. They're in confusion. So this is why they got the media to run this story. And you mean to tell me that they know everything? They can go find people in other countries, right? Do missions on them. I'm just gonna say it like that, but they don't know what these are. Come on, man. Play some of this video.
In the skies above the east, reports of mysterious drones.
Look, guys, there's one there, one there, one there.
Turning into thousands of posts going viral online.
Coming in one after one.
With people from coast to coast now spending a lot more time looking up and pointing their cameras into the night.
This is bizarre. There's more over there, look.
Some could be optical illusions, planes that seem closer than they are.
You can hear that one. That is definitely a plane.
But others have defied normal explanation.
What the f?
Car-sized drones operating for hours in restricted airspace and able to elude local law enforcement when they send their own drones up to give chase. In New Jersey, the Army reporting the Picatinny Arsenal has had 11
Now,
unarmed...
you mean to tell me that this government don't know what's going on? You got to be insane to believe that. But I'm going to go to these comments. So what this place does, they play psychological operations with your mind. Now, you do have, so-called UFOs that they can't explain, but they're trying to lump everything into this drone thing so they can cause confusion and control the narrative. And they can tell you through their media what these, what this. So, okay, if they can control you on this issue, right, they can say any other issue that, that chariots pop up, right? The chariots from the Most High, they could just say that's drones or, UAP. They could just throw the confusion out there so people can go back to sleep, right? Rock them back to sleep. But Esau is getting sloppy with his media. I was looking at, a brother did a lesson about that so-called assassination of that United Way, United Care, something like that, CEO. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that's not adding up. Just gonna leave it at that. Check this out. It says if the drone can hear its controller signal, how can the government not track the signal back to the person? This is simply not believable. You people waking up to you Edomites, man, your media. So you've been able to use your media to influence the minds of the people, but these people know is untrustworthy. So much lying, so many narratives that you have gave them that has been nothing but lies. Some people are seeing straight through the BS. Check this out. It says, does anyone believe you can fly aircraft the size of a small car around the United States Air Force Base on a regular basis and the federal government won't know who you are? Try flying a small commercial drone around an Air Force base and see what happens. It says right here, the more they play dumb, the more I suspect false flag. So people they catching on to this, man, because these psychological operations that they do to influence your mind to control the narrative. And it's a psyop. So they want to discredit the chariots from the Most High, and it's caused that confusion, right? So you got drones that now these videos are clear drones, but what they're doing is causing much confusion, right? So when you got like a lot of confusion going on, you can't really get to the bottom of the truth. And this is this devil job to continue to run these psyops on your mind using a media. It says PSYOP, or psychological operations. PSYOP is short for psychological operations. It says or operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to influence their motives and objective reasoning. You hear this? It says, and ultimately the behavior of governments, organizations, groups, and large foreign powers, right? So they had something called Operation Paperclip when they intentionally lied to the people, the public, right? So they can continue to do their wickedness, right? So this is why, you have to study to show yourself approved, and, to understand that so-called UFOs, as they use their terminology today, they are actually chariots from the Most High. And you do have these videos that are clearly drones, but what they're trying to do is control the narrative. So again, I'm just re-emphasizing that. So that's why when you see a video, you have to be able to discern what it is. Because sometimes it can be an airplane, it can be a drone. You have to analyze the video using, your eyes and your understanding to understand can something that we know of move in this particular way. And that's how we're able to understand what something is supernatural and something that's from this world that we know. It is supernatural things going on. But again, the drones is something that they're doing, right? They lumping it in all to cause confusion. 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. It says, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, rightly going into different subjects and breaking it down correctly. So let's go to the so-called UFOs, because they're in the Bible. And we've been seeing a whole bunch of sightings. I post a lot of chariot videos on my channel, and it's doing stuff that's moving. The video that I did maybe about 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, that chariot cleared some crazy amount of miles in 1 second. I forget how many miles was it. I think it was like 10 or 20 miles, something like that. It cleared that amount of territory in 1 second. Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and I looked and behold a flying roe, flying. This is what sticks out to the scripture. When you go to study, you have to break everything down. You can't gloss over certain words. That's what Christians do. They don't even know what these scriptures properly mean. Study. I'm going to show you something. Everything is in the scripture. Every word means something. It says study the devotion of time and attention to acquiring knowledge on an academic subject, especially by means of book. They say if you want to hide something from a ninja, put it in the book. There's a lot of truth to that figure of speech. But I want to focus in on two. It says a detailed investigation, like a detective, right? You don't miss nothing. It says a detailed investigation and analysis of a subject or situation going into these scriptures. So you will see certain clues in the scriptures that it will be referring to a so-called UFO just by the terminology and the words that are surrounding this. Like you see the word cloud in some cases in the Bible, it's talking about UFOs. As we know as UFOs, but they chariots, the angels traveling. But it's not going to say it in that terminology that you want. That's why you have to study a detailed investigation and analysis of a subject or situation. That's why it says study to show yourself approved. It ain't just going to the Bible and read you a couple, chapters and then you're done. No, you have to break the words down. You got to go into the historical records. You got to see what was going on at that time. What time frame was this written? What was the system in place? What system was in place? It's a vast amount of things you have to understand. Look at the similar words. It says investigation. Investigation. It says examination. Let's go to that term, that word. It says a detailed inspection or investigation, a detailed inspection. And that's why Jake don't get a lot of stuff right, because they're not thorough, they're not detailed. Let's go back here. So what stuck out to me in this scripture, if I didn't have no understanding, flying roll. What is that? Something is flying, right? So this not talking about what you might think. So, and he said, Zechariah 5:2, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits, a flying roll. Let's go here, Ezekiel. And let me show you something before I get into Ezekiel to prove my point. It says right here, and I went into this information before, but I want to bring it back out so you can see it might be somebody new watching this lesson. It says alien clouds in the Bible. It says the flight of the gods. Check this out at the top. It says UFO clouds zoom in on. The Bible describes very odd clouds. So they're able to understand that it's something, it's not a rain cloud, because the terminology they would use around it, it don't behave like a rain cloud. It says by analyzing biblical verses, that's something that our people don't do. I'm going to go into the word analyzing. It says by analyzing biblical verses. So some of these Edomite scholars, so-called scholars, will break it down and go deep and understand that this is not talking about a rain cloud. All right. In different other situations as well, scenarios appear to be unidentified flying objects. They able to see this. Right here, I went into that scripture before. It says, behold, he's coming amid the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. So Yahushua is coming back on a gigantic chariot, but it would use the terminology as a cloud. Because look how a cloud sits up in the air. And some of these UFOs, so-called UFOs, chariots, can cloak themselves or disguise themselves as a literal rain cloud. But it's not a rain cloud. It's a chariot. And sometimes they just show they true form. It just depends on the scenario. It says at the top, number 1, UFO biblical clouds. Unlike ordinary clouds, like rain clouds, right? The clouds described in the Bible exhibit extraordinary phenomena that have long perplexed scholars. So a lot of these Edomites don't know what the hell is going on. Most of them don't know. I would say all of them, because this is for his people to understand. It says we propose that the biblical clouds may be related to some form of UFO technology. That's heavy. That's heavy. Check this out. Through analyzing scriptures, that's when you get to understand it, not just reading over words right here like these Christians do. Number 3, UFO clouds. We have selected specific biblical examples that we believe best represent these peculiar clouds, right? Often offering insights into their connection with the UFO phenomenon. Well, there you go. So going back in Ezekiel, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 1 and 4. So Ezekiel saw the chariots, you know what I'm saying? The other prophets, Zechariah, so on and so forth. Ezra, it says, Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud. What is that talking about? A so-called UFO. And a fire enfolding itself, like on Independence Day, when that chariot, that so-called UFO was cracking the atmosphere, you had fire all around it. And they have lights on them. And the brightness was about it. There go the lights. And out of the midst thereof was the color of amber. So it's a color to these chariots out of the midst of the fire. Right? So Ezekiel had an encounter with the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. But I'm running out of time. Hopefully this was edifying. Call Hala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rachak Kordash. Shalom.